Before we end Rising today, we need to acknowledge a mistake from yesterday's show. Jeffrey Toobin was not hired as a staff opinion writer for the New York Times. Instead, he is a contributing writer who has published some essays in the past and may occasionally write some in the future. We certainly apologise for any confusion that factual mistake may have caused. Now, on to our final segment of the week. Elon Musk and his son X, full name X-A12, appeared at the Oval Office Tuesday alongside President Trump.
Okay, this is X, and he's a great guy, high IQ. He's a high IQ individual.
And he's got this, check out this cool chain he's got.
And the View's Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar had quite a laugh over Elon Musk's 4-year-old son. They had this to say about their appearance.
So yesterday, Elon Musk took his son X to a press conference. I did not name the child. And I don't want to hear any more mess about our names, okay? Okay?
Oh.
Anywho, he took little X.
Funny. And little Instagram.
He doesn't own Instagram.
He doesn't own Instagram. He just took little X with him to a press conference in the Oval Office to defend himself against critics who say he should not have the power to gut the federal agency. Take a look.
An example of the fraud that you have cited was $50 million of condoms was sent to Gaza.
Some of the things that I say will be incorrect and should be corrected. So nobody's going to bat 1,000.
Host Joy Behar talked about this in social media memes.
Lies, lies, and more lies, and then it goes out there. That there's a meme going around that I have to show. Look at this. Show that picture of the boy in the office. This is little kid, he's adorable, little Elon Musk's son, saying, little X saying to Donald, why are you sitting in my daddy's seat?
Whoopi has said he is the shadow president.
Many social media users blasted their remarks. An ex-user wrote, "Wow, Whoopi just spent multiple minutes making fun of Elon Musk's son. Name Elon's son's name. Your name is literally Whoopi." Libs of TikTok also chimed in. Whoopi Goldberg is now making fun of Elon's kid's name as the audience laughs, picking on a child. She's evil. Nicholas Fondicario, associate editor for the MRC and Newsbusters, wrote on X, ABC News host Whoopi Goldberg, a fake name, and Joy Behar mock and bully Elon Musk's 4-year-old son over his name. X's mother, a Canadian musician known professionally as Grimes, took to X, the social media platform, to express her disapproval of her son's appearance. "He should not be in public like this. I did not see this. Thank you for alerting me, but I'm glad he was polite. Sigh."
In a separate post on X, Grimes wrote, "For whatever ways in which one wishes to complain about administrations before this, there was a sense of decorum by both Republicans and Democrats that, no matter what you think, showed at least the veneer of respect toward the people. That is part of leadership." So I don't like children being mocked. I think that should not be done. And I think to the extent that there was mockery there, which there clearly was, and particularly in relation to his name, that is bad. I don't think it reflects well on people who do it. I was actually reminded, and I'm showing my age here, you may or may not remember, more than a decade ago, there was a thing where an MSNBC host rightly apologized for having mocked. There was a family shot of Mitt Romney's extended family, and it included a black grandchild, an adopted son of Mitt Romney's son. And there was some mockery of that. I thought that was gross and terrible and indefensible. This, in relation to the mocking of his name, I have really no time for that at all. The Joy Behar clip that we played, I thought was a little different because that was simply showing the photo of X looking at Trump with Elon in the background, and the joke being, you know, the kid saying to the president, basically, why are you in my dad's seat, as in, my dad's the real president. That, to me, isn't mocking the child. It is simply getting at the peculiar dynamics between Elon Musk and Donald Trump in a way that is amusing and abuses no one.
One of the things we've definitely lost over the past few decades is civility in our politics. It was once understood. You do not go after the children of political candidates, political office holders. It's just not done. Now it's been tread on a couple times. We all remember the draft the Bush twins bumper stickers from the Gulf War. The Obama children, though, were relatively protected. Barron Trump was not given a lot of heat from media or from Donald Trump's detractors. You need to be very, very careful. Now, what's interesting about this, though, is that his son X was there as part of a political operation, right? It was to soften Elon Musk's image. Elon Musk not doing very well in polls. I think it might have worked, though. Seeing him with this cute, adorable little kid, and he's going around the desk. It was kind of like a John F. Kennedy moment where his son John was under the desk, that kind of thing. I think that was a very, very smart move. That being said, though, this should be one of the cardinal rules of American politics. Stay away from the families. Unless they want to get political themselves, don't rag on them.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with that, and certainly a child that is so young. I take your point about Elon Musk bringing the child in for what was obviously going to be a political event by its nature, and it probably does, as you say, soften his image, makes him seem less of the sort of bug-eyed fanatic that some people think that he is, frankly, or that and are very skeptical of his actions. I do think the use of the child in that way, you could debate one way or another. That does not give license to mock the child. I did see, and this is perhaps unfortunate to have two men discussing this, I did see a number of women on Twitter make the point that if a high-ranking female government official had been in the office with a young child on her shoulders or playing around, that she would be criticised for that, or that there would be more question marks raised over it, which I do think is a valid point.
Well, we know that often females and males are treated differently in the political realm. I don't know about that. I think that kids can do a lot for a candidate. Kids can really help a candidate, especially small children, or they can be ridiculed. One of the instances I did forget about was Chelsea Clinton. I was in high school when Chelsea Clinton was the first daughter. She was mercilessly mocked for her appearance.
By Rush Limbaugh, I think.
By Rush Limbaugh, among others. And when you get to that high of a level, it's absolutely unacceptable. It's got to be so difficult to be a child growing up in a political environment, but especially with the magnifying glass on the White House. I don't wish it upon my worst enemy's children. No. But you grow up, and most of these children end up being quite successful. Chelsea Clinton has done very well for herself. So have the Bush twins. So it's a hard way to grow up. But I think the media has a responsibility not just to protect these young people who are in the White House, but to criticize them heavily when someone like the people on The View go after them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And to give a bipartisan note of praise, Jenna Bush in particular is still prominent because of her role in broadcasting, and to some extent the Obama girls are, Malia and Sasha. And those three people all seem very well-adjusted, decent people as far as I can tell from their public persona or from what I've seen of it. Chelsea Clinton the same. So, well done, whatever about the political debates, to the parents in raising children in what is clearly a very, very abnormal situation.
Interestingly enough, none of them have gone into politics afterwards, so maybe that's how they learned that lesson.
There was some speculation about Chelsea doing it, but she
was.
seems to have backed away from that more in recent years. Well, on that bipartisan, loving note toward children of all presidents, that does it for us today on Rising. Be sure to like, share and subscribe so you never miss any content. And for those of you who like to listen while on the go, we are now available anywhere you listen to podcasts. We'll be back next week. Thanks for joining us.